All right, I'm joined now by retired NYPD Detective Sergeant Joe Giacalone. Joe, good morning, and welcome back to New Jersey 101.5. How are you?
Hi, Bill. Thanks for having me.
So, first of all, this shocking assassination of this NYPD officer yesterday, I wanted to just get your perspective on it. Obviously, our thoughts and prayers are with all the members of the NYPD and cops across the country having to deal with this kind of there's an all-out assault on police officers, and something does need to be done about it. And I wanted to just get your perspective on what has anything changed over the past year? I mean, this is now the second time we've had this kind of assassination-style murder of a New York City police officer.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, I think they were still reeling from 2013 when Lou and Ramos were executed sitting in their patrol cars.
Right.
I mean, listen, we had a bad year last year for cop killings in the United States. Everyone, a lot of people calling it a war on cops. This year, Bill, we're up again already. We're up 25% from last year's numbers, which were horrific. So the trend is not good. Last year, we also saw a 41% increase in ambush killings of cops. That included Dallas and Baton Rouge. But, there is something going on. I mean, even in New York City, you have 6 cops killed since 2013, 3 of them in ambushes or assassinations. In the previous 12 years, there were only 10 cops killed. So there's something definitely happening, not only in New York City, but all over the country.
So let me ask you, I was having a conversation yesterday with my friend Bob Bianchi, who's a former prosecutor in Morris County, and I said, preemptively speaking, what can be done? Like, do you see, and I just kind of threw this out there for a discussion point, and I kind of answered my own question, that the idea of, at what point does someone approaching a police vehicle become a threat? At what point and what can be done about it? But then as the conversation continued and then off the air, thinking it through, the real preventative action on this seems to be you've got to keep these repeat offenders behind bars longer. If I understand it, this guy assaulted a police officer and was doing 8 years and got out in 6.
Yeah, he actually assaulted the cop with brass knuckles, so this wasn't like a fist fight or physical altercation of resisting arrest. I mean, he had brass knuckles and he attacked this cop. He was in jail for an armed robbery. He got sentenced for 10 years, and he was actually already a parole violator, and they still let him out early. You know what? It's happening in New York State. It's happening in New Jersey, as we know, with this
bail reform.
Yeah, bail reform, which is just a disguise of letting people out early just to save money. That's really what it's all about. It has nothing to do with criminal justice reform. It has to do with saving money for strapped budgets. I mean, I'd gladly talk to the governor about it and then make him prove otherwise. But until he can, that's what it's all about.
Hey guys, Bill Spadia here. I am here with 2 very special guests, Dog the Bounty Hunter and his better half, Beth. What's up, guys? Thanks for coming in.
How are you, brother?
All right, so first of all, welcome from Hawaii. It's great
sir.
to have you. Thank you guys for coming in.
Thanks for having
You are here to fight bail reform. Governor Christie shoved this down our throat. All of a sudden now you got criminals out on the loose. Cops can't do their job. And some good people maybe they've made a couple mistakes, are sitting behind bars.
Right.
I want to explain it because most people don't really understand it, because it's complex. But basically, as I understand it, there are 2 sides. There are people that can't afford bail,
Right.
and they're getting out of jail.
Right.
And then there are folks that are doing things like traffic tickets,
Right.
and they're staying behind bars.
Correct.
Is that right?
Right.
What else do I need to know?
Well, for instance, like one of your local residents, the Weed Man.
The Weed Man.
The Weed Man allegedly that someone walked into his place and I guess purchased some pot. So he found out who it was, asked his lawyer, can I they call them snitches in our world, can I put this snitch on the internet?
Yeah.
So allegedly he puts the guy's picture up and goes like, this is a rat, this is a snitch.
Yeah.
So they arrest him for tampering with the witness. So now this guy, low crime, marijuana, goes to jail and is held without bail.
So there's no bail for Weed Man.
Listen, that's like if you kill your mother.
No bail.
No bail, you kill your mom, you kill your dad.
Well,
you're getting
capital
out.
crimes are, used to be, it had to be a capital crime to be held with no bail.
So now what's the criteria? It's not about a violent capital
No,
crime.
it's not. It's about they can hold who they see fit.
So it's more arbitrary.
It's basically
But
a
who's getting
detention.
out under this bail reform
Well,
that Chris
for-
Christie
The repeat
has
offenders are
pushed
getting
for?
out.
For instance,
Okay.
I can't even say this, 6,800 bags of heroin. Free bond. A guy allegedly raping his daughter for years. Free bond. Wait a minute, brother. What? This is America. This is not Saudi.
And the idea was that there were poor people who were convicted of low-level, nonviolent
Never
crimes.
convicted, just
accused of it.
Just
And they were in
Put-
jail,
locked
and they
up.
couldn't get out.
Okay.
Because they're poor.
So
Now,
people screamed to the rooftops, these politicians said it's not fair
Right.
to these poor folks.
Mr. Christie's used my name. Dog the bondsman's robbing the poor. Mr. Christie, the poor people don't have no money.
How do you
How
rob
are you
someone
gonna rob
who
a poor
doesn't have
man?
anything to begin with?
So what he did is try to, what did he do? I mean, what the heck, brah? What did he do? Please, God, tell me he
Well,
just didn't understand.
But the thing is that, maybe he has a belligerent mouth and maybe he talks crap and, maybe he does that, but all of those things aren't crimes. They're not crimes.
Who you mean, the weed?
You're talking about the weed
Weed
man.
man.
You could have been talking about Chris Christie.
That's what
Well,
He's
that's-
also a little belligerent and has some
Yeah,
issues
him too.
with running his mouth.
But, the thing about pretrial is that they've never targeted the petty crimes.
Yeah.
But they sold it to the public like that's what they were doing. Petty crimes, smoking weed or peeing in
Urinating in public.
graffiti,
Right.
nonsense, nuisance violations. But the nuisance violations fall over here under the people that
So
aren't
you
being
could
released.
end up being stuck in jail,
Waiting to post
no
bail.
bail, which
No, post
violates
bail.
your
You have to
constitutional.
post bail.
You have to post bail.
The small, low-lying
Okay.
offenders, they have to post bail in municipal court.
Let's-
So it should have been petty offenses, misdemeanors, felonies.
So you're here in Trenton fighting this to get the legislature to pick this up and amend this
To
law
fix
this.
so that they'll fix it,
Yes.
so the bail bondsman can go back to work,
Correct.
helping people who can post that 10% and get out,
Right.
and keeping the real bad guys behind
Keeping the real
bars.
bad
Exactly.
All right.
Bad people are going to do bad things, and those bad people have to be dealt with the way we've always dealt with them.
You're looking outside your window and you see the guy, honey, look, someone's stealing our car. Oh my God, what do we do? In New Jersey, do you go get your gun? I don't know. But in Hawaii, you don't. You're like, 911, oh my God, this guy's stealing
Right.
my car. Honey, get the film, get the video, get him. Okay, he's driving away. Oh, there's a cop, so they got him. Yay! 2 hours, he's out of jail for free. You're like,
That's New Jersey right
that's New Jersey, brother.
There you
You're
have
like-
it.
You're like, oh my
People with
God.
gun charges, 24 gun charges are being released.
What?
Yeah.
now. Guns, pedophiles, I mean, people, gangs, you're talking about
Yeah.
people that are dealing drugs. I mean, it's out of control. So we're out of time, but I want to thank you both for being here,
Thank
and
you,
we're going to
sir.
get back on the air. What you're doing is great
Thank you.
work. It's a pleasure to meet both of you.
Thank you
Thanks for
very much.
keeping the faith and bringing the fight to Jersey, because we certainly
Absolutely.
needed some help.
Listen, thank
Absolutely.
you.
Courts rule New Jersey citizens allowed to defend themselves against police brutality. Newark, a drug dealer who was sentenced to 9 years in prison after a jury convicted him of resisting arrest, will get a new trial. Darnell Reed was arrested April 1, 2013, by 2 city police officers, who beat him to a bloody pulp after a traffic stop. A jury later found him not guilty of 7 drug and other related charges, and found him guilty of just a single charge, resisting arrest. But an appellate court panel on Thursday ruled that Reed was denied a fair trial because the judge did not instruct the jury to consider whether Reed was justified in defending himself against police brutality. The decision said the evidence supported a finding that the officers used unnecessary and excessive force and that the jury should have been instructed on the self-defense charge. The appellate decision rests on decades of court precedents, including a 1970 state Supreme Court case that outlined the rights of citizens to defend themselves against police brutality. If in effectuating the arrest or the temporary detention the officers employs excessive and unnecessary force, the citizen may respond or counter with the use of reasonable force to protect himself, and if in doing so the officer is injured, no criminal offense has been committed, the court said in State v. Mulvihill. Courts have pointed out that there are limited circumstances in which people may fight back or resist. A citizen is not allowed to resist arrest just because he or she believes the arrest is unlawful or mistaken. The time and place to fight that is later in court. The New Jersey chapter of the American Civil Liberties Union instructs people to remain calm and not touch officers. Don't resist, even if you're innocent or if you think the police or ICE are acting unfairly or unlawfully, the advocacy group says in one of its pamphlets. The ruling also doesn't mean that police can never use force. On the contrary, the courts have said that police have the duty to use force when someone is resisting arrest. But if police go overboard, a citizen can defend himself as long as he or she does not use more force than the officers. A citizen also loses his privilege of self-defense if he knows that if he submits to the officer's excessive use of force will cease, Thursday's decision says. Previous rulings held that the self-defense instruction to the jury is required even when not requested by a defense attorney. Recent news reports have put police use of force in the spotlight in the state.
Hey, Sheriff, we have a question about why your office, your intelligence division, is investigating private citizens for criminal investigation that happen to be activists that are overseeing your department. Why would you have your intelligence division investigate private citizens? We have done...
for life hating so much.
Sir, we don't hate anyone. We love freedom and we love American people. And government is out of control. That's why you're seeing such a revolt nationwide. Why can't you just answer, why is Susan Edwards, your intelligence division, investigating private citizens? This should not happen.
Are you here to apply for a job?
Possibly I might be applying for a job, but that's irrelevant to my question. Why would you ask that question?
Well, enjoy the fair.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Excuse you?
Excuse me, sir.
So those of you that haven't
Wow.
been on a bike before, we're
Sheriff's
just
getting a little too pushy. You work for us, Sheriff. Just keep that in mind. At one time we respected you, but not with that type of attitude.
Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County Cop Watch, and I wanted to explain what fair use is. You can use pieces of news articles if you're doing it for news reporting, you have commentary, and you're doing it for education purposes. So that's what fair use is, as you can see right here. Another reason why I wanted to make this video is to let you know I have just joined with Patreon. A nice thing with Patreon, I make no money on YouTube. They took the money away years ago, and so this is another way to give, and it's a nice thing too because you can give monthly. You can give $1, $5, $10, whatever. I do 4 to 5 hours a day on trying to wake the sheep up on how corrupt it is and different ways that you can fight the corruption. So Patreon is a way that you can do it, and then of course the old way is still there. Donate to Sheriff County Cop Watch with PayPal or credit card. So keep that in mind. 4 to 5 hours a day. I make no money, but the corruption happened to me and I'm sick of it, so I'm trying to wake people up. But my wife would love it if if we could get some help out there. There's 47,000 subscribers. Just think if each one of you subscribers just gave let's say actually yes, $1 a month. 47,000 subscribers gave $1 a month. That would be awesome. That's not going to happen. But anyways, that would be great if it did happen. But do the math in your head. Just think about it. Like I said, 4 to 5 hours a day. I get no money from YouTube. YouTube has gone nuts. You can't do anything anymore. They're taking the money away everywhere. So these are a couple different ways that you can still help out with all this time that I put in. And as you know, I'm in a special situation where at least I can do it. 4 to 5 hours a day. We have a cleaning company during the day. That's what allows me to do this, and we're debt free. So this is my hobby. I don't go fishing and all that other crap. I try to save the world. So help me out to make the wife happy, man. In fact, if you guys did give $1 a day, and there was 47,000 of you, and you did it, and each of you gave $1, and that was every month, oh my God, yes, I could quit. I could start suing them. Another idea too that we have is if I got some funds, we could actually contact everyone that has been ticketed and or arrested and put in jail and start sending them postcards to let them know we're here, and to see if everything went all right, and if it didn't, find out their story. So we could even do more investigations and more lawsuits. Lawsuits take money. So just think about that. 47,000 of you so far right now. $1 a day. $1 a month on Patreon, or $5 a month Patreon, 10, 20, whatever. Just do the math in your head. Help out. This is a lot of work every single day. Thanks.